London Broil takes a cheap, tough cut of beef and turns it into something insanely delicious. And believe it or not, it's got nothing to do with England. More on that later. For now, I'm making it juicier, more tender, and more flavorful with a couple of insider chef techniques. Sound good? Let's cook. I've got a 2.5 pound top round steak. This is an inexpensive cut that comes from the inside part of the round, which is the upper area of the back leg of the cow. Hands down, it's the most common cut to use. It's got great beefy flavor, but it's pretty lean without a lot of inter or intramuscular fat. Other cuts that you could use are bottom round, sirloin, or flank steak. Keep an eye on that last one. We'll come back to that in a minute. But for now, to start to tenderize this is by piercing it with a jacquard, which is a simple tool with several fine blades that break down connective tissue. This also makes it better for cooking and marinade absorption. I picked this one up for maybe $10 on Amazon, and yeah, I'll drop a link below. It's very reasonable, and it's said that it can tenderize meat by up to 50%. That is huge. It'll essentially get us to a top sirloin when we're done. Let's place the top round steak on the cutting board and then press down directly into the meat, sort of stamping it, and the blades will pierce through, splitting those long fibers, making it more tender. You'll need to make 2 total passes on each side of the steak and no need to worry about the size. Then just briefly set it to the side, and honestly, you'll immediately be able to tell how much that little trick works. It goes from a pretty firm steak to being much softer. It just works, and it's something you should consider doing on tougher steaks. Okay, now for the next tip to making this not only more tender, but incredibly juicy and flavorful, and that's the marinade, which also is very traditional with London Broil. In a large bowl, I'm going to finely grate in 5 whole garlic cloves on a microplane, and then 1 shallot. Yeah, this process is a little annoying to do, but that fine grate will ensure the flavor is evenly distributed throughout the entire marinade. Little tips like this always make meals worth remembering. You got this. Next, we're adding in 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 3 tablespoons soy, and then 3 tablespoons of champagne vinegar. This is a little bit lighter and gives more subtle vinegar flavors than the classic red wine vinegar, which can be crazy overpowering on steak. This will quickly become your new favorite vinegar. And at this stage, add in 2 tablespoons of packed light brown sugar, and then I'm just going to press and smash with my hands 6 to 8 sprigs of fresh thyme just to help release more of their aromatics. Then next, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and then finally, slowly drizzle in while whisking a half cup of any neutral flavored oil. For me, I'm using avocado oil. Alright, really quick history lesson. London Broil actually refers to the technique and not even a cut of beef. And believe it or not, it never came from London. It actually started in early 1900s American chop houses where broiler chefs used marinades and high heat to turn a cheap, tough cut into something that ate like a premium steak. Simple idea, big impact. That's right, this steak was a huge moneymaker for those New York and Philadelphia restaurants back in the day. And just like Vienna steak or Hamburg steak, American restaurants in the early 1900s loved attaching European-sounding names to inexpensive dishes to make them feel more upscale. Calling it London Broil made it sound classy. Finish whisking it up and then, of course, give it a little taste. It should be crazy flavorful. Remember, we aren't drinking this. We're eating the product of what this infuses into. Okay, so what I like to do is marinate in these plastic zip bags, and don't worry, I wash these and reuse them, but feel free to do this in a 13x9 casserole dish. Next, add in the steak, and then pour in the marinade. But be sure to get a rubber scraper to get all that goodness out of there. Then, take a minute or two and really massage that marinade into the steak and get all those flavors married up. And at this stage, we're going in the fridge for as little as 4 hours and up to 24 hours. And remember, the closer you can get to that 24-hour time frame, the more flavorful the steak will be. And I have to say, I'm intrigued with flank steak because all I've ever known is top round. And I'm thinking while I'm at it that I should marinate up a flank steak to see if it's as good or heck maybe even better. So I'm thinking for a test at the end of this video to see what I like better. I'll get one jacquarded up and in the same marinade. We'll see. So when you're ready to cook it, I'm just going to take it out of the fridge and set it up at room temperature just to take the chill off. And in the meantime, we're heating up the oven to 250 degrees F, no fan. That's right, we're going to reverse sear this, and I'll explain why in a second. But first, let's get that steak out of the marinade and place on a rack over a sheet tray lined with parchment paper. This will help ensure all surface area of the steak can be touched by that slow cooking heat. Before we go into the oven, let's be sure to add a thermometer right to the center, but make sure to come in from the side, so when we slice it at the end, there's not this huge unattractive thermometer wormhole looking thing running through it. Next, it's going in the oven, and we're going to take it until it reaches about 108 to 110 degrees F internally. I want medium rare, which to me is finished at 125. Only way to eat tougher cuts like this, if you ask me. The reverse sear gives off slow, gentle heat for a uniform rosy red interior with relaxed muscle fibers and a dry surface that browns instantly for deep, deep beef flavors. There's no gray bands, no guessing. It's juicier, more tender, easier to slice, and beautifully repeatable because you're letting physics do all the work for you, and it's going to greatly benefit this specific cut of meat. So now that science class is over, once it hits our desired temperature, we've got some work to do, so follow closely. Immediately take the steak out and let it rest for only 4 to 5 minutes, and in the meantime, take a cast iron pan and add it to the top rack or rack in the top third of the oven, and then crank the broiler heat to high, which should be at least 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and this should be enough time to get there during our quick rest. While it's resting, I usually like to protect the thermometer with some foil just because it'll be so close to that broiler. I don't want things exploding. Okay, at this stage, it is go time. Let's take out the rack, and you can already see this pan is smoking hot. Perfect. I'm going to hit it with a few tablespoons of avocado oil and add the steak right to it. We're only searing this for maybe 90 to 120 seconds per side. That is it. Remember, I want medium rare, and some of that Maillard has already started to slowly build throughout the reverse searing process. So this part is just about as much extra flavor as we can get. So it's at 118 degrees F for me, which is perfect because I'm going to account for a bit of carryover cooking, and while it rests on a rack for roughly 10 minutes or so, the rule of thumb is 5 minutes per inch of steak. And during this rest, the juices and myoglobin will redistribute through everything, making it way more tender and juicy, and it should creep right into that 125 degrees F range that I have always known as medium rare. Perfection, my friends, and I promise you, you can absolutely pull this off. And now we're ready to slice this up. But first, when this was originally served at some of the finest dining establishments in New York in the 1930s, it was commonly accompanied with a loaded baked potato, and of course I finessed it up and coated it in oil and salt, and it was also served with a simple side of steamed, buttered, and seasoned green beans. And then, believe it or not, most famously with A1 sauce. It's crazy, but the sauce has been around for almost 200 years. But you know me, I'd rather make it myself because, well, I'm not a huge fan of A1 and I can get it to where I want it and like it. And you can get this recipe along with the loaded baked potato and steamed green beans on my site at billyparisi.com. I'll drop links in the description. All right, I can't wait much longer. Let's slice this up, and this is my penultimate tip for ensuring this thing is dang tasty. See the way these grains are going? We want to slice it against these grains and do it as thinly as possible. Even I broke out the slicing knife for this. And when you cut against the grain, it makes it so incredibly tender you won't believe it. But real quick, while we were cooking the top round steak, we did the same process with the flank steak. So it's only right to do an equal slice and test, right? And real quick, for a final little chef tip, you want to hit it with just a little bit of finishing salt. This is why we didn't do too much at the beginning. Let's just try it out, dude. I have no idea. Honestly, absolutely zero clue. Ah. The flavors, no doubt the flavor's unbelievable. Here's the deal. The flavor on both of them is fantastic. The marinade is, without question, you got to do it. It's awesome. Now, making these, there's a reason why they originally started with flank steak, okay? The problem is nowadays, because the demand is so high, it's twice as much. This is 19 bucks a pound. This is 10 bucks a pound. But the flank steak by far is definitely juicier. Flavor's the same, but definitely juicier. And you have a tougher cut and you have a less tough cut. Still though, for 10 bucks, I mean, it's like we're eating top sirloin, which is pretty dang good. And I don't think you'd be disappointed on either of those, but the flank steak, there's a reason it was originally, that's what it was. And of course, if you want to finish this off with another Northeastern favorite, classic cheesecake, if you've got a sweet tooth, that'll take care of you. Got an awesome video, and I will see you there. I'm going with all this. It's amazing. It really is amazing.